Sharon Hill, who's in New York, and Jared, just tell me about the reaction in the US to this story.
It's interesting, Catherine, because this is a story that hasn't really gotten as much traction here in the States, at least not yet. Again, what we know is that the Trump campaign filed this lawsuit, this NCC, just earlier this week on Monday, and so there's a starting to trickle out here. The allegation, as you were mentioning, is that the Labour Party is saying we're sending members and staffers here to the United States to campaign on behalf of Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, what we are hearing from the Labour Party is that these are people that are doing this on their free time and their individual capacity, their spare time. They say that's what they've done in previous elections on both sides, on the political spectrum. The question is going to be if this has any sort of political repercussions here in the States for President Trump or Vice President Harris. But again, we're going to see how this develops over the next couple of hours or days.
Yes, exactly. In the big state, was a very intense presidential campaign. Is the story like this last more than 1 or 2 news cycles?
If I could give you a bit of that, and I have a whole lot of money in my pocket because I think that's not a future. What we do know is that a lot of these stories do need to quickly, especially again with us being 13 or so days before the election, but there is always talk about the so-called October surprise, and whether that is something that potentially could be a big enough story in the news cycle to really sway things. We'll have to wait and see. By and large, generally speaking, foreign policy and foreign dealings are not that deeply influenced on American politics and on the presidential election. Could this be one that actually goes through in kind of a way?
Thank you very much. That's a very clear from our US president, Stephen. The UK will later sign a new defence agreement with Germany as the government seeks to strengthen its post-Brexit ties with Europe. Under the plan, the German submarine hunting post will operate from RAF Lessenach in Norway, and Düsseldorf-based defence firm will open a new factory in the UK, which will produce artillery gun barrels made from steel constructors. Our defence correspondent Jonathan York has the details.
Germany and the UK already train and work together as NATO allies. But the government say this new defence pact will take the relationship to another level, with more cooperation between their militaries and defence industries. All part of the government's push to reset relations with key European allies post-Brexit.
It is. And historically, when it brings our UK and German militaries closer together, our industries closer together, both to strengthen our security and Europe's security, but also to boost our industries.
German and UK defence firms are already jointly making new armoured vehicles for the British Army at this factory in Telford. Under the new agreements, Germany will open a new factory in Britain to produce the barrels for artillery guns. The government says it will sustain 400 jobs. They'll also jointly develop a new long-range missile. A German maritime surveillance aircraft will also periodically fly from RAF Lessenach in Scotland to join patrols of the North Atlantic, tackling Russian submarines. The overall goal is to boost NATO's defences. John Muir, BBC News.
Well, we can now speak to Justin Camp, military analyst and former British Army officer. Thank you for joining us on BBC News. So I think the question is, why is this pact needed? I'm sure Germany will also probably be incorporating, especially under the NATO.
We've got a very long time on the NATO. I think there's a difference in the sort of cooperation we've had with NATO allies in the last 20 or 30 years. A lot of it's very high level, strategic, interoperability, things like that we talk about. And actually there's a total difference in working together with troops on the ground. For example, the Arabians can talk to each other with these much more operational things that of course really matter when it comes to a war. So I've worked alongside the Germans at a high level, much like Europe, very rare that I would do an exercise that we work alongside German soldiers with my soldiers pulling together. So there is no substitute for those working societies. There's capital in place, but given how all British Army based in Germany is such an amazing one, they really work alongside our German colleagues, so it's quite welcome to see that more functional engagement taking place.
It seems as if this Pat comes with a big investment from Germany into the UK economy. Just walk us through the main points of this agreement.
I think the direction of travel is always established. Well, you mentioned the British Army things, the equipment program, particularly Boxer, that's a consortium that Germany is in. Canada Fleet has upgraded our tank to a new canyon, largely being designed with barrels. All located in the UK, it's a really financial effort. And our tourists are very bad, and that's an interest in what we're doing to produce as an army. We've still going down fire, essentially we're down barrels and being told if you can't get these barrels to Russia, it's down, and Ukraine is down, so of course you've got to artillery anymore. So it's nice to see the investment helping us to build that capability. In the air, we use an aircraft, there's a lot of commonality there, and getting this sense to operate on things like missiles and different drones that work with aircraft. That's a really noted skill warfare that probably has those. So there's a lot of work on that. And then operationally, of course, we've got the ability to extend patrols out into the Norwegian Sea in particular. And I think we always Europe has more than come to enjoy and build this as well as part of this. And again, we can both use the same amount of time patrol aircraft and we've got the battery for the staff. There's no other sort of money.
And both countries have faced criticism for underinvestment in their military strategy. Will attacks like this both are most of Chinese state action?
The military is more than some of their parts. I agree. You want to get a capability that is more than just some of them now. And both countries have actually suffered from the same delays, I think, as you said. So the fact is great, it allows us to do more together, it allows us to come into those gaps in our production and our supply. We work better together in the battlefield, we work on saying, it's all great. It's not an excuse for places to not having invested in Germany, Greece, and so part of largely as a result of the law in the UK. So it is relevant, it shouldn't be after the fact really has enough not capability to take in.
Thank you very much. That's the second part. Military analyst and a former British officer there. Thanks for that.
Yes, please, yeah.
Finally, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has arrived in Kazan to attend the second day of the BRICS Summit on Emerging Economies in Russia. Ukraine's foreign ministry criticized Guterres this week for accepting the invitation from the Russian President Vladimir Putin, while staying away from a peace summit on the war in Ukraine. You're watching the BBC News with me, Catherine Garhanda. Stay with us, we'll be back after this short break.
Hello. Wednesday is shaping up to be a fine day across most of the UK with some pleasant sunshine. However, the morning could look like this, particularly across southern and central areas of England. Mist and fog in quite different places. But the fog should last, it will clear later in the morning, and thanks to the position of this area of high pressure and our southerly winds, it will feel pleasant in that sunshine. And I think the mild air is here to stay at least until Thursday. Beyond that, somewhat cooler air will arrive up the Atlantic. So the short term then, that fog warming across southern and southeastern parts of England, into Scandinavia, into further north, into the Bay of Europe. I think it's in the southeast, and definitely where the fog will be thickest, possibly visibility as low as 100 metres or less. Elsewhere, clear skies, this is the forecast at 8 o'clock in the morning, the temperature typically around 9 degrees Celsius. So once that fog eventually clears away, it may take time, it may of course look into low grey skies before that sunshine comes through, but once it does, it will be a fine day. Just the possibility of a few afternoon showers, so don't be surprised that some spots of rain could find in the south. So in the forecast then for Thursday, we still have those southerly winds, that mild air give up. Can't miss this, a wet front is approaching, but it's just to the west of our neighbourhood at this stage, at least through most of Thursday. Some sunshine from London, Norwich, all the way to Aberdeen, hazy skies to Belfast, and then later in the day, the possibility of that rain arriving in Northern Ireland. And then eventually it will arrive on Friday. This weather front will be flat bang over the UK, with everything in a little low pressure will form, very gusty winds will develop across southwestern parts of the country. It's still relatively mild there, so temperatures around 15, 16, maybe even 17, but that slightly fresher air starts to reach western parts of the UK. And how about the weekend and into next week? Well, the jet stream will start spreading weather fronts our way, so that does mean somewhat more unsettled weather. But into next week, it does look as though the jet stream may get further north once again with high pressure building. So here's the outlook then from Thursday onwards. The weather does go downhill as we head into Friday with some outlets of rain. Similar weather for Saturday and Sunday. Fingers crossed things should improve by the time we get to Monday. Bye-bye.
Lauren Americas on the road to the US election. Looking at larger chats about politics.
Social media investigations.
Navigating your way to election day and beyond. With Americas, the BBC podcast. Listen on BBC Sound.
Morning. Fantastic. Of course, I'm not going to get easy on you, but some really big questions we've got to have answers to this morning. Not be fair. I just want to really impressive. So get it. Join me to hear from the biggest names inside and outside politics.
Sunday with Laura Kingsgrove. Sundays at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Australia asks three questions with the help of the unrivaled range of BBC journalists right across the world and gathered here in this building. I also draw my time reporting on global conflict and meeting countless heads of government. Some I'm experienced that helps me know who to talk to and who to listen to. Meaning our analysis is objective, unbiased, and I promise you with absolutely no spin. That's why we call our program Unspun World. Right, on BBC America.
This is BBC News.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's presidential campaign accuses the UK of foreign support in the US. The US Secretary of State says now is the time for Israel to end the war in Gaza to capitalize on its success against Hamas. From the dock to the front line, the people accused of crimes being pressured into joining the Russian army. And the group of friends who made it to the park every week for more than half a century. Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm Catherine Gallagher. A BBC investigation has found that Russia has expanded its recruitment of prisoners to fight in the war in Ukraine, including those merely accused of a crime. Work undertaken alongside independent Russian website Mediazona to compare thousands of dog tags from Russian prison recruits with linked records found a shift from the most serious offenders to those convicted or still awaiting trial for much lower level crimes. Olga Shina reports.
This is a very gross Olympic medal.
Это золотая медаль Барселоны.
His daughter Alina is showing it to us because he is in a pre-trial detention facility, facing 10 years in prison. He stands accused of embezzling around 3 million rubles, almost 24,000 pounds, from the football club where he was managing director. But the 62-year-old has been offered a way out. He can avoid the trial altogether if he signs a contract to join the army and fight in Ukraine.
My father refused to sign the contract. For him, it would be tantamount to admitting his guilt. He's not going to do that.
And new law means that investigators and even defense lawyers are now obliged to offer an opportunity to go to the front to almost anyone accused of a crime in Russia. But it hasn't always been that way. These are the faces of some of the violent criminals who fought and died for Russia and Ukraine. Like Vyacheslav Korchas, who burned 2 people alive, and Rustam Valyugin, who brutally stabbed his own mother and left her to die. However, now it's no longer just dangerous offenders being recruited into the army. We have analyzed almost 20,000 dog tags from convicts who went to the front line against detailed data that was leaked to us. In the beginning, prisoner recruitment was handled by Wagner and its main leader, Evgeny Prigozhin, who specifically targeted high-security institutions.
Multiple convictions for murder or robbery, rape, if you screwed up with prison officials or have beaten the cops, it's an endeavor. We need your criminal talents.
They want the third parties criminal or the worst of the worst because they're going to be using them in assault units.
But our research shows that as Russian forces increase, recruitment has spread to any kind of prison, including pre-trial detention centers. And some people do sign up. Yaroslav Lipavsky chose to go to the front line as soon as he turned 18. He was accused of intentionally causing harm to another person alongside others. He was dead within a month. But the effort to get people to the army is increasing. The BBC has received a leaked recording of an investigator explaining how they pressure the men to sign up under this new law. It has been revoiced to protect the souls.
Listen, your husband has already got 3 years for that. He can get 6 more for this other crime. Do you need this? I offered him a chance to sign a contract. If his request is approved, he will go to war and close the case. That's it.
Well, what was it the Russians care about convicts or those who are in prison? I suspect that they don't, and I suspect that's another reason why the Russian government turned to him.
But Andrei Perov maintains his innocence, so he continues to refuse the contracts he's being offered. We asked the Russian authorities about Perov's case and whether they are unfairly pressuring the Chinese to join the army. They did not respond.
He tries to keep himself cheerful, but if this goes on, they will break him. It cannot go on indefinitely.
After a career chasing medals, Andrei Perov continues his fight for a fair trial and not a dog tag around his neck. Olive Schiller, BBC News.
Well, let's speak to Dr. Lana Howard, Russian legal expert at Dixon Prue School of Law at King's College London. Thank you so much for joining us on BBC News. So just talk us through these changes to the Russian criminal code and how they've unfolded.
What the Russian government is really doing is slowly putting on a legal basis practices that used to be illegal. So you may recall to be excused from criminal liability. That was awarded by the president. But basically, in June 2023, the law was changed, and since then, the presidential pardon is no longer needed during the period of mobilization or martial law if the person with the conviction decides to sign up. Yeah. And then that was later extended to include people who are facing an investigation or trial.
And Dr. Howard, what about crimes committed on the battlefront? Does this mean war crimes potentially with these changes can go unpunished?
Yes, in a nutshell, that's the possibility. Even though Russia signed up to all 4 Geneva Conventions and ratified 2 additional protocols, although it withdrew later from one of them, and what it means is that Russian criminal code has provisions that penalize war crimes. However, this is now completely undermined by this astonishing article which been introduced this year as Article 78.1 that permits the authorities to turn a blind eye to ignore criminal wrongdoings while committed while serving a military service contract.
Dr. Lana Howard, thank you so much for joining us. I just want to bring you some breaking news now on the current trip by the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. We can now report that he'll be going to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, but also the UK. This report is coming in from our correspondent Tom Bateman, who's travelling with the Secretary of State and he will be arriving in the UK where he will be meeting Arab leaders. We'll have much more on Oxford European vaccines. Now, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is seen as one of the great successes of the pandemic, credited with saving over 6 million lives. Within their cases, this also affects serious side like blood clots in the brain, which in some cases were fatal. Now, the financial scheme set up to support those injured by vaccines has been criticised as being arbitrary with a payout of too low. Our medical editor, Fergus Walsh, has interviewed some of those affected.
Jade Wrigley used to be a runner. Now she can barely walk. Hold on,
Yeah, that's great.
Before I had
Thanks
the
so much.
vaccine, I
Yeah,
was a
great.
very independent,
Thank you.
active